from Mahanati to here, he's done several films. Every movie of his, he's superb, but this is like another level.
Meriba Paneer Soda. I trust Meriba.
In terms of cinematography, I approached it from a very different style, and I think so did Dulquer. You could think that the Gemini Ganesh has something to do with this character, and the moment he steps into that set, you realize that he is Aya, which is this,
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a difficult character to portray, because it's a presence that has to be like a tutor, like a teacher, but also has to be feared, but also we have to like empathize with him. And he does it so well. But there's a few scenes in the climax of the movie that are gonna be very interesting, and because of the layers of fiction, in Kaantha, there's not only one climax. Actually, we didn't have her. Like the moment we were gonna start shooting, we didn't have her, and there were other
Okay.
options on the table. Sai Pallavi was on the table, and I was like, guys, like please, Sai Pallavi, she's the best. Blah, blah, blah. Who is this bag of seaboards? I don't know her.
Hi, Danny. Thank you so much for joining all the way from Spain. How are you?
Hi, how are you? All well over here. Good morning.
Yes, yes. Good morning. I'm so good, and so fortunate that I saw Kantha, which is like an extraordinary work you've done. Um, I really love your work in Mahanati and also in this Kantha. We just anticipated about the film, and it was so outstanding.
I'm so glad
Uh,
that you actually managed to watch it. I mean, you're one of the lucky ones that got to watch it a little earlier. So,
yes, yes,
yeah,
yes.
I mean, that sounds great. Thank you so much for your kind words.
Yes, 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 means a lot. And first of all, it's your second collaboration with Dulquer Salman, right? And with Rana Daggubati also. And
Yeah, actually, it's my third project with Rana, but we actually one of the projects that we worked on is still in development. But yes, it's my
oh, wow,
second
okay,
project with Dulquer. We did Mahanati together as well, and with Rana we did Videta Parvam, and we
okay.
also developed Hiranyakashap.
Oh, wow, okay, okay. That's so nice. So we could see you a lot here in Indian cinema, and we could see you're doing great job here in Indian cinema. So being a part of Indian cinema, how does it feel for you, first of all?
So I think first of all, I think it was Vilma Sigmund who said that cinematographers are always foreigners to the land that they shoot, and I think
Hmm.
he was very right. He was rightfully so. He actually shot all over Europe. He shot in America, and I was actually in
Okay.
America. I was in LA when I got my first movie in India, and
Hmm.
I frankly had never visited India. I had friends from India. Like one of my best collaborators was Pradna Mohan from Tamil Nadu. She's
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
granddaughter of MSB, and she
Yeah.
directed my the first features, the first projects that I actually shot were directed by her. But that was my
Okay.
connection with India. That was it.
Mhm.
I
You
actually got
started
my
way
first
earlier.
movie. Yeah, I mean, I got my first movie from my reel that I had done. I'd done a lot of movies during my master's degree at Chapman University, and I had
Mhm.
gathered like a summary of images, of what I could do. And a producer really liked it, and we sat down, we had coffee, and then suddenly things moved, and I jumped
Oh,
the
wow.
puddle, and then that movie did well. I got really good reviews on my cinematographer on the cinematography, and then like things started rolling. So yeah, this is my eighth movie in India, actually, my eighth feature.
Wow, wow, wow. That's really awesome. You worked in a film called Savitri Mahanati. Like, the film won a national award and everything. And now being a part of Kanta, we are like anticipating many awards for this also, because since the DQ's performance and the production design and your cinematography, it's like way too beautiful. We had like such an immersive experience with the film. So being a part of Kanta, how is it for you? Because you already worked with the film Nadigar Tilagam. So is it very difficult, or it's kind of easy comparatively, that film Mahanati?
So Mahanati opened up like the South industries for me. Like I didn't know much. I mean, when I came to India, I came to Bombay, and
Okay.
like that's where I watched a lot of Hindi movies.
Okay.
but there's some kind of veil over the South industries. I mean, like you get to watch a lot of the Bengali filmmakers, that are classic,
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
Kurosawas
Yeah.
and Ozus of
Mm-hmm.
India, like Kathak and Satay Rai. But
Yeah.
you never get to watch the gems from the South. And Mahanati, like in Mahanati, actually Nagi opened up my eyes to like
Okay.
all the classics from Southern India. And like Savitri actually worked Tamil and Telugu indistinct, like I mean the industries in the South are very much connected, and
Yes. Yes.
Dulquer can actually
Yeah.
like talk about that. But yeah, this is my first Tamil film, Kanta. I was really
Mm-hmm.
looking forward to get into the Tamil industry, because I
Okay.
think some of the best films from the South are Tamil, and
Mm-hmm.
most of the classics are, and
Yeah.
I'm really glad we made this movie in Tamil Telugu, so I'm still like part of the Telugu industry, but I'm also like joining now the Tamil one. And
Okay.
it's everyone in the world. I mean, cinema is not a science, so everyone in the world we shoot differently, but film language is international. It's universal. So when I talk to different directors, even though they're like very vastly different, Venu from Nagi from
Mm-hmm.
Silva, like there's something that is the minimum common place, and is that they know how to speak film. They know grammar, they know visual design,
Mm-hmm.
so it's easy for us to connect, and it's easy for us to communicate.
Okay, 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 okay. And working in Kantha, I was very much impressed about your work, and especially all those mirrors, because having mirror in the frame, it's like quite difficult to shoot, and I could see mirrors in a lot of frames. Was it very challenging?
So I mean, the visual design always kind of comes from the story, or I try to bring it from the story. This is a story about ego. This is a
Mm-hmm.
story about acting, and so, and it's a story of smoke and mirrors, right, in a way. So mirrors are going to be part of the movie from the very beginning. I mean, from the very first
Yes,
thing,
yes.
that before we take a shot in a movie, the actor has to check himself. He has to check that the hair is fine, that the makeup is okay, that there's a mirror there. There's obviously a mirror in the prep for actors to actually find their character. So and it's also a reflection. It's also like
Okay,
how
okay, yeah.
what we portray ourselves, right? And it's also like one of the core scenes in the movie, as the reviews are revealing already, but the teaser already
Yes,
revealed
yes.
a little bit of it, right? So yeah, that's one of the scenes that we put some effort in. We actually talked about that
Okay,
scene quite a lot, and we found some
okay,
references in film history that we wanted, like where we wanted to take that scene to. And yeah, I think
okay.
we and that's how that's the whole scene came out.
Yeah, because the one shot where we could see, like maybe somewhere in the pre-interval scene, like where the mirrors will be like the camera will just go through the mirrors and just like, come out of them. That shot was like very impressive.
There's a
Even we
fascination,
had a.
with mirrors. I think, I guess, with cinema being a 2D fiction, and mirrors being another fiction, a reflection of the world. Like what is cinema if not actually a reflection of reality, so I think there is a whole fascination in cinema with that. And we talked about movies like Orpheus, from
Mhm.
Jean Cocteau, that about characters actually crossing the mirror and getting into it. Like we wanted to go into like classics from that era to actually see what they did,
Okay,
and
okay.
there's a few effects in Maya Bazaar with reflections as
Mhm.
well. So we talked about that.
Mhm.
How can we do this? So in
Even you guys try to replicate the same in the film, right? In Savitri, you guys
yeah,
try to.
yeah. There's a lot of mirrors also there, because it's also acting, no? So I mean, when it comes to that, like obviously there's a lot of mirrors. I mean, there's more mirrors in Kanta, I think. I mean,
Yes, yes,
I'm
yes,
not
yes.
gonna reveal
Even in
anything,
a
but
shot,
like yeah.
yeah, like there is a shot like there is everywhere mirrors, just nothing, just DQ in the mirrors. It's like how smart is this?
I mean, what you know, Yves Klein, has this whole his whole career as an artist is finding the right blue, right? And then once you he found it, how can he make it better? Like duplicate it. So if if Dulquer is Nadipu Chakravarti, like how can we get him better?
Yes.
It's like duplicate him. Let's have like all the mirrors, so all the reflections of Dulquer are there.
Yes, 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 yes. I was thinking, how did the cinematographer try to handle this scene? Like this, like mirror everywhere. Even I was talking to Ramalingam, the production designer. He was also was talking much about you, the works, and about that particular mirror shot. We were like, you guys did a beautiful collaboration, like the production
Yeah,
design
we
and the
we had to
cinematography.
we had to collaborate really tightly. You know, I I don't speak Tamil. I'm sorry. Our common language was English, and
Mm-hmm.
it was hard to communicate as like in language. But when we actually physically talked, that's when we understood each other. Because we like, how do you find color?
Mm-hmm.
Like the specific variety of color, the specific tone that you need for the scene, right? So there was a lot of trial and error with that, to finding the right color for the locations that we had. Unfortunately, like there's two major sets,
Mm-hmm.
and most of the action happens there, and so we
Okay.
found those specific tonalities of color,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, like there was a lot of talk about like sizes and technical aspects with mirrors, like in several scenes, there's several locations where the mirror is prime. So we had to talk a lot about like viewing angle, and about how much the camera is capturing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do you use any specific cameras for this, or like the one in the content industry?
So yeah, we actually did a test for this movie with two cameras, the main ones, Venice 2 and Arri Alexa 35, and we
Okay.
tested 10 lenses on each. So
Okay.
it was a vast test that's online.
Mm-hmm.
I shared it with everyone, so everyone, if they're thinking about like, I mean, it's better to actually do it yourself, but I know that it's hard to get all those cameras and lenses, so you can at
Mm-hmm.
least see what we did. And we ended up going with Cook anamorphic, special
Oh,
flare full frame, and
okay.
with the Venice 2, because that
Mm-hmm.
combination was great. Like with Venice 2, you can actually have a full format camera, so the
Mm-hmm.
anamorphic doesn't wobble so much,
Okay. Okay.
and the tonalities of the anamorphic that are like vintage, are actually
Okay.
added to the frame without it being like bothersome. So yeah,
Okay.
that's what we chose.
I, okay. Okay. I think the same cooked lens they used in the film called Christopher, the Mammootty's film Christopher. I think they used the same cooked
I'll check it
lens.
out. I don't know. I'll check
Yeah.
it out for sure.
I think that's the one they used. But I had one more thing, like in the set. I mean in the movie, there were like a lot of lights in the frame. Because since it's a movie shoot, they had to show us the lights to fill up the ambience and stuff. So as a DOP, how was it for you? Because you have to control the flare, you have to control a lot of things, right? Since there is too much of light involved directly to the lenses.
Yeah, so part of the visual design is actually having lights, the lights that we're gonna have for the shot, for the film within the
Mm.
film, right? So you're in a film
Okay.
set, and the moment you enter, you realize that, you know, obviously like the setting is there, the sets
Mm.
are there, but obviously it's all plagued with the technology, because we
Mm-hmm.
actually shoot with lights, right? So
Mm-hmm.
especially on a
Yeah.
set where you're actually condensed in a box. So yeah, like we not only like we put another rule to ourselves, is that wherever the lights were in the master shots, when we
Mm-hmm.
actually go to the close of the camera, right? When we actually
Mm-hmm.
go to the shoot of the film in the film, we'll
Mm-hmm.
actually keep the lights
Okay.
on those, right? So unless,
Mm-hmm.
the character said like lights off, which happened a couple of times, but like now in the end it's only once, right? So
Okay.
we had to be mindful before we started like to take the master of what shots we were going to do later, because then we were going to find out that the lights were going to be there and we wouldn't be able
Okay.
to move it.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah,
Okay.
and we got some lights for this movie that were vintage. We got like two that were gigantic, a 10K and I think a 12K, and then we got smaller ones that happen
Okay.
to be in the background. So whatever you see is actually like vintage lights. Suresh Productions from Suresh Babu actually was very adamant to find them, and he looked all over the south for them, and some of them were even sent from Bombay. So
Mhm.
it was an arduous process of getting those lights in.
But that will produce a lot of heat, right? That will produce a
Yeah,
lot of heat.
yeah, I know, right? It
Yeah.
was, yeah, it was actually difficult because obviously, like Hyderabad is a little bit hot, but I mean, that's why like there's one difference between Europe, America, and India. In India, tungsten lights are always shut off the moment that that
Okay.
we stop the shoot. But yeah, like one rule
Okay.
that we put is that wherever we put those lights, we'll maintain it for the rest of the scene, even when we got to the film with the film. So we had to be very well prepped, and we actually had to know like where the camera was gonna go next. So we actually
Okay.
could light everything for
Okay.
for the fiction and from the fiction within the fiction, from the metafiction.
But you enjoy shooting it in the indoor because I could see the whole film it shot indoor. Just few scenes were there outdoor, right? Like literally everything in the indoor, in that box, in that space. Do you enjoy shooting that?
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, every movie is a different species, it's a different animal.
Yeah.
Kanta being the feud between, uh, TKM and Aya, it had to
Mhm.
happen within the sets, right? And everything around it, everything around the studio. So you have obviously the big set, you have the small set, you have the actors' vanity rooms, you have the corridor. So everything happens kind of like, I mean, it's encapsulated. There's some claustrophobia that we wanted to keep there, right? Um, Actually, like in the original screenplay, there were more scenes of Chennai, of setting, but no one really missed them when we actually did a first cut. Selva, I mean, I was ready to fly back to actually shoot
Okay.
those scenes in Chennai, and Selva was like, no, there's no need. Like
Okay.
this is the story. So yeah, Chennai
Okay.
is actually portrayed like as a background for this core of the
Mhm.
story, which is this feud.
Okay. Oh, wow. Wow, wow. So I could see a lot of work there involved in the production of this particular film, Kaantha. And since you worked with DQ earlier in Mahanati also, as an actor, can you see his can you see how much he was evolved as an actor from the Mahanati to Kaantha? Can you see that as a cinematographer?
I mean, I think he's a chameleon. I mean, every movie that he does is vastly different. I
Mhm.
mean, from Mahanati to here, he's done several films in which you know, I mean, he's just a different character, and I think people are gonna freak out when they actually uh, find out what he did for Kanta as TKM,
Mm.
because
Yeah.
like every movie of his, he's superb, but this is like another level, this is this is really Nadipu Chakravarti,
Yeah, yeah. He has too much of weight as a character. As a character, he has too much of weight.
I think more like all legendary actors are chameleons. They actually adapt
Yeah.
to the story. And I would say that as cinematographers, we have to do the same. Like every movie is a different story. It demands something different. And I always try to come with open eyes and see what what it is. Like what it requires from the visual design. Like at the beginning of when highlights of the movie were there, that me and Dulquer were gonna be in this movie. They're like, oh, like it's Mahanati all over again. Like that's great.
Mm,
It's not, like
mm.
there's certainly. I mean, there'll be the things that collide because obviously Mahanati was from 40s to 80s. This is 40s and
Yeah.
50s. In
Yes. Yes.
acting, cinema.
That way too
But
behind the storyline.
that was a biopic. This is a complete
Yeah. This
fiction,
is.
and it is very different. It is another whole world. It doesn't in terms of cinematography, I approached it from a very different style, and I think so did Dulquer. Like, you could think that the Gemini Ganesh has something to do with this character,
Mm.
and the moment he steps into that set, you realize that he is something else. That he is
Yes, yeah.
completely different. And I hope that they say the same about my cinematography, because we
Mm.
try to approach it from a very different angle. And even though there are common places, like you said, like mirrors or like acting, I think it is very, very different.
What is that one shot which is very challenging for you shooting Kanta? Something challenging or something something close to your heart you love?
So I feel like I cannot reveal much, but I
Mhm.
think when they ask me this question, because it's like, what is the scene that you think? I don't know, like when I was in film school, there was always the question of what is the most important scene of the film, and I always have trouble finding it, because for me every scene is very important. Every scene is a different challenge,
Mhm.
and every scene, I mean, I have to really nurture.
Mhm.
There are scenes that people are gonna really remember, because I'm really memorable for like when everything kind of lands together. The crossing the mirror scene, as I think it's gonna be certainly one of them. That's a memorable scene. But there's a
Yeah,
few
definitely.
scenes in the climax of the movie that are gonna
Mhm.
be very interesting. And because of the layers of fiction, in Kanta, there's not only one climax. There's the climax of
Yeah,
the film, and there's the
we can't
climax of
reveal the
the
scene. Yeah,
yeah. There's the climax of the scene, of film within the film. And I feel that
yeah.
those climaxes of the film within the film are some of the most I mean, interesting ideas that we landed for this film. Because I was hired for Kanta in August 2023,
Okay.
and from there onwards, like, Silva has shared all of the different versions of the script that he has done. No,
Okay.
like this,
Okay.
he's such a puzzle maker. Because
Okay.
Kanta is a puzzle of layers. And he's put this Lego together, like, by
Mhm.
always trying to find the best story, the best structure, like the best structure. And with that, obviously, you get a lot of ideas, and you bounce
Mhm.
back, and you're like, why don't we do the climax of Shanta, no, of Kanta, the film in the
Yeah.
film, as a oneer,
Yeah.
as a sequence shot, you know
Mm.
so every, like, from the moment we start the camera, from the moment that you say cut, we don't cut out of that.
Uh,
That was
okay.
another rule that we put ourselves
Oh.
into, like,
Okay.
that the
Okay. Yeah.
moment that we go into Kanta, the movie, we'll actually, like, stay within that.
Mm.
And because of that rule, the climax also had to be like that. So we talked about a lot about that,
Okay.
and we talked about, like, how to achieve that,
Mm.
which is, looks simple, because it's very well thought of, you know and we tried different versions. We tried different ideas, and this,
Okay.
I mean, this always stood as the best idea, because obviously, like, Selva is a devil's advocate. He
Mm.
always tries to take the other side to see if there's a better option over there.
Mhm.
And that's what made the movie stronger.
Yes, yes, I can totally see that. And also, I could see a lot of appreciations are coming to Bhakishri Bose because she did a great job and she's debuting here in Tamil. And her character stands out in the film as, she's being there, like everywhere. She's the one who makes the movie she's just pushing the film.
What because Kanta was supposed to be on floor on 2023.
Hmm.
Bhagishri was already in when I came in, but
Okay.
when we restarted, the prep again in 2024,
Hmm.
Bhagishri was already doing other films. Obviously,
Yes,
like,
yes.
this was gonna be her debut, but, like, suddenly, like, she was doing something else, and actually we didn't have her. Like, the moment we were gonna start shooting, we didn't have her, and there were other
Okay.
options on the table.
Okay.
And I was very fond of another actress that I worked with in the past. So Sai Pallavi was on the table, and I was
Mm-hmm.
like, guys, like, please take Sai Pallavi. She's the best. Blah, blah, blah. Who is this
Uh,
Bhagashri Bose? I don't know her. Like, who
okay.
is she? And the second day of shooting, I had to
Okay.
go to Bhagashri, and I was like, I have to say sorry to you.
Okay.
Like, you are amazing.
Uh,
You are breaking it. You're so Kumari. Like, I mean, I was so wrong. Like, you are the actress for this film, and I think everyone's noticing and everyone's commenting on it. But obviously, the whole cast, like, I mean, like, it's a very good, well assembled cast. Like, because obviously there's four main characters. There's Bhagashree, there's Dulquer, there's Rana with this disruptive character that comes in, this inspector.
mhm.
Then there's Aya, which is
Yeah.
this, I mean, it's such a difficult character to portray, because
Mhm.
it's a presence that has to be like a tutor, like a teacher, but also has to be feared, but also we have to like empathize with him. And he does it so well. And then the supporting cast is, I mean, everyone is perfect, everyone's so good in this.
Yeah.
The moment you
Yeah.
watch
That's
it,
true.
you realize that, it's that no one is actually like uh getting out of the story. Everyone is
Yeah,
actually like
everyone has,
within.
at least a small role to play in the film. Like even the assistant director, the person who's working in the art department, who's in the light, like in the film. I mean, in the film Kantha's Kantha, like every small character has its own detailing and everyone. So that was like way too of a great thing the director did.
True, true, because obviously, like, it's difficult to talk about this because there's layers, so you're like, oh yeah, but like, I'm not talking about like, the, I'm not talking about Dulquer, I'm not talking about TKM, I'm talking about, the character within Kanta, which Kanta,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the film with the film, like, so even as we were shooting it, it was hard
Mhm.
for us to communicate.
Yeah, I can totally understand because even right now, it's like quite hard to tell which Kantha. It's Kantha or Kantha's Kantha.
Exactly. So we
Yeah,
started saying like Kanta and Shanta, but like Shanta is also like it's not. I mean, Dulquer comes and changes the title, so we started
yeah,
saying like the film within the film, and that's how
yeah,
we try to stick to that.
yeah, yeah. So, but doing a film based on a film, like it's quite hard, like bringing all those things and making it work together and all those like it's a great job and
Yeah,
we really
metafiction
love
for
that.
us. I mean, it's always a challenge, but it's always lovely,
Yeah, yeah,
because
definitely.
I mean we love film, so films of films is actually always a pleasure to make. Making
Yeah.
the look for that film in the film, we tried to do something different here. So we tried
Mm-hmm.
to go with what Aya would actually um would actually have looked for, because Martin, the producer, tells him like,
Yeah,
whatever you
yeah.
want you'll get, right? So at that
Mm-hmm.
time in 1950s there was a new Kodak stock that was
Mm-hmm.
faster, so you could
Okay.
use less light. That was called the
Mm.
Tri-X. So
Okay.
we thought Aya would actually have demanded that, coming from
Okay.
America. So we
Mm.
the colorist, Glenn Castillo, and I, we
Mm-hmm.
collaborated on creating this look. He actually got
Okay.
Kodak info, not for
Okay.
a lot that was prefabricated, but he actually got a lot of info from scannings of different movies,
Mm-hmm.
different
Okay.
roles. So you would
Mm.
get like a standard, but you would also get like the mistakes of
Okay.
different
Mm.
stocks, different
Okay.
emulations, different densities, right? And he
Okay.
actually created the look for the Tri-X, which is the
Mm-hmm.
4:3, the Academy aspect
Okay.
ratio, for the film,
Okay.
through that.
Okay.
Now it felt like shooting something completely different. When we came on set, uh, it was very weird. Like, we actually put a lot of light on that, and it wasn't
Okay.
getting it because obviously our cameras right now are much more
Mm-hmm.
sensitive than the stock from
Yeah.
the era. That was like a
Okay.
320 or like 200 even ISO, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was fast for the time. But now we have
Mm.
800, we have dual
Yeah.
ISO, we can
Yeah,
do
yeah. We
whatever
have a
we
lot of
want with the
ISO.
with the
Yeah.
sensitivity, right? But we actually had to light like we would light in 1950s, and I think that
I can
was a game changer for
quite
me. Like,
hard.
my
Yeah.
assistant Nishant, Gaffer Hitesh, and second unit DOP Richie Yao, the first time we tried it, we were like, "What are we like?" I'm like, "I'm 3 stops over, and Dulquer just looks fine. You know, he looks perfect. How is this possible?" So we started like realizing that we were actually shooting like a 1950s film because of this lot, because of this a lot is a look that you actually apply on the camera, so the camera reacts differently to the light, you know, to the
Yeah.
image that we have in front of it. I mean, first of all, we crop to 4:3 aspect ratio, which, you know, in the
The
movie
monochrome portions,
theaters,
the monochrome
yeah,
versions.
in the movie theaters we actually crop. But when you
Okay.
actually watch it next month on Netflix, it will actually do a little bit of Nolan's
Okay.
feeling with
Wow.
the IMAX, right? It will actually go
Oh, yeah, with the
like
full,
that.
the
It will
60 to
expand
9 aspect ratio.
like in the trailer, you know, because in the trailer the main aspect ratio is 16:9, you know, widescreen.
Okay.
But then you
Yeah.
go with the movie, you crop top and bottom. But when you
Yeah.
actually go for the scene film of the film, you actually expand. Like when what
Okay.
happened to Dark Knight on IMAX cinemas, right? So that
Yeah,
you
yeah,
see more,
I can get
right?
it. I can get it. I can get
Yeah.
it. Totally. I think you're doing some more magics for the OTT audience as well. I mean, they could see this drastic on a difference there, which is
Yeah, I
so
mean, like
great.
we always think about like the travel of the movie, you know, how this movie is gonna be perceived like through time. Obviously, like I mean, this movie is made for the big screens. This movie is made for
Yeah.
theaters, and please watch it there because it's like
Yes.
nothing else. You know, it's a
Yeah.
completely different experience. You know, but obviously it's gonna be watched in many OTTs. I mean, in this case, Netflix on I mean many OTTs. I mean, like it's gonna be on Netflix on many TVs everywhere in the world.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
have to think about like how to give that like the best experience we can to them, you know, in the future.
Yeah.
But frankly, I mean, I hope this movie stays in cinemas for a really long while. I think it's gonna be,
Yes.
and you have to
It's
watch
a
it
pure
there
theatrical
because
experience. It's a pure
it's a
theatrical experience.
theatrical experience. You know, like Nagi always said that movies right now they have to be a spectacle. You know, they have to be a show to do well. And I feel
Yeah.
like this Kanta is one of those movies.
Yeah, thank you so much for the time. Yeah, we had a great time and so fortunate to have you here with us today. And
Same. Thank you
Kanta
so
is
much
going
for
to
your
do
kind words, for
wonders.
watching it, from spreading the word. You know, I hope you really truly enjoyed it. Off the record now.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Danny. We had such a great time. Thank you.
Thank you. Me too.
Yes.
Meriba Paneer Soda. I trust Meriba.